Hey guys, welcome to another episode of MrBottomline podcast. We have come almost to the end of year 2024, and I was thinking like this is the first year I've started making content on personal finance, and I thought I'll do end of year review. And since the first time I started making content, which is from the first video, I've always insisted on the habit of tracking every expense, including expenses as small as 10 rupees, 20 rupees. So to something as big as buying a home or buying a car where you splurge few lakhs or even few crores for that matter. So I thought it's a good way to wrap this here. And I started this habit starting January 2020. So by this December, I'll complete 4 years of tracking my expenditures. Of course, the best way to wrap this year 2024 was I thought that I could share a part of my financial tracking habit and what came out of it. I started tracking my investments. Started tracking my income and expenditure and everything. So this, of course, I can't give everything in one video, but in this video, I'm going to talk about all my expenditures. So yes, for those of you who like a lot of number crunching, a lot of mathematics, a lot of data, the rest of the video will be extremely interesting for you guys. Even for others, I think there are enough non-number aspects also. So just continue watching this video. So I'm going to use my iPad while I go through all the numbers because I can't obviously remember all the numbers. So here we're going to break the expense down into multiple things like food and grocery, how much I've spent on travel, how much I've spent on expenditure, and I'll tell you where the anomalies are. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you what's the purpose of doing something like this as a wrap up. So yes, with expenses, first let me dive into the food and grocery expense starting with 2020 to 2024. So in 2020, on an average month, I spent 11,700 for food every month, and that became 18,000, 29,000, and 20,000. In 2024, on an average month, I spent 24,000 rupees on food and groceries. So now if I break the food expense and go down into aspects, for example, how much I have spent on food delivery apps, Swiggy and Zomato. So what used to be 2,800 rupees in 2020, remember this was the pandemic year. So even Swiggy and Zomato did not deliver a lot. And it peaked at 6,500 rupees per month in 2022. And I've brought down it significantly that it has become 4,700 in 2024. So I have a lot of room to cut my expenditure. Ideally, I do not want to eat out. I do not want to, order out and everything. A lot of home cooking is healthier and also easy on the pockets. So now if I look at grocery bill, see this grocery bill is a very critical aspect because this will tell you how much inflation is. Inflation has a very direct correlation with your grocery bills, food and grocery bills in general, but more importantly, grocery bills. So I started at spending 5,400 every month in 2020, and it peaked at 7,700 rupees per month in 2024. Yes, of course, what started at 5,400 has increased. As I told you, I've started spending less on eating out, ordering less from delivery apps, which means my grocery bill is bound to go up. And I've also had this recent obsession on fitness, which means I'm looking at what I'm eating. And generally, healthy ingredients come at a slightly upper cost. So yes, my grocery bill is going to increase and increase over the years, but that's for a good reason. I'm not too hung up about it. And now the aspect of eating outside. So what started as 3,155, this was the year of pandemic. You didn't really have a lot of choices with eating out. And it peaked to 16K per month in 2022. This is a time when I hired a lot of people at work. I frequently go out, party with people. And as a consequence of work, and generally was socializing with a lot more friends. So 16K per month. I know it's a ridiculous number, but I was able to successfully bring it to 8.3K. And this is a number that I'm going to carefully watch. And I'm going to bring it down to as close to zero as possible. Of course, it's practically impossible to bring it down to zero. There are people who have done that, but I'm not the kind. I know that myself, but I want to keep it to bare minimum as possible. So with that, I think food and groceries we've discussed. I'm going to come to the next aspect, which is home expense. So home expense meaning that whatever you pay for utilities, Sometimes things get broken, you end up spending for that. So in 2020, I spent 74,100 rupees every month. Now you can consider that's a ridiculous high amount of value. That means I've approximately spent 8.4 lakhs in that year just on home expense. Yes, of course, this is the pandemic year where you didn't have a lot of discretionary spends. So I spend a lot of money on getting home improvements done. We've redone some part of the home. We have got new television set because we're sitting at home. We're watching television most of the time. So yes, at that time it made sense for me to invest that kind of money in home. And then it came significantly down to 7,000 every year in 2021, and in 2022 almost 8,000, and in 2024 it is just 5,000 rupees. So yes, whatever capital investment that I had to put on my home is already done in 2020 and some parts in 2023, and now it's just come down to the bare minimum, which is 5,000 to 6,000 rupees. So now comes another aspect, which is fuel and car maintenance. Uh, a part that I hate the most, but I also made some very big blunders here. So let me walk you through it. In 2020, my average expense was 4.4K. This is including fuel and car maintenance, because from 2020 to 2022, I was driving a Maruti Alto, and that's the car which has the least maintenance. So from 2020 to 2022, it was just 4K around every month. And in 2023, I made this stupid mistake of getting a big SUV. And you know how much my monthly expenditure went to? It went from 4,000 a month to 17,000 a month. And in 2023 and 2024, it hovered around 17,000 a month. Now, I'd like to spend a minute here. You shot your car expense from 4,000 to 16,000. That's 4x increase. Imagine the kind of money that you could have saved if you have taken the decision to not go for this car. Yes, I know my blunder. And this is a decision that I took for myself, while I convinced other people that I took it for the family because we needed a bigger car because family is getting bigger and everything. But end of the day, it's my decision and I have to own the decision myself. It's a stupid mistake, but if you ask me, do you go back in time? Will you do the same mistake? Probably I will, because I thought I need a big car at least once in my lifetime. So if you ask me 2 years, 3 years down the line, will you get a bigger car? Maybe not, but car has always been my weakest point and it'll continue to be so while I actively try to suppress that emotion. But it'll take some time because habits are tough to change. And that's what I wanted to bring it out of this video. So next we'll talk about travel. In 2020, not much of options to travel. So it was just 3,400 per month. And it peaked at 2023 when it went to 37,200 rupees. Yes, 37,000 every month on travel. I did two international trips, actually three international trips. I went to Spain and Portugal. I went to Thailand. I went to Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore. So it was a lot of travel. And then in 2024, I didn't really travel a lot. So it came down to 8,700. So if you ask me, is this expense going to go up or down? It's going to go up because I'm the kind of a person who's a wanderer by personality. So I'd like to travel the world before I leave this planet. So I'm going to spend more and more time and cost on this particular category called travel, because as you spend money on things, even more important is to spend money on experiences. So my expenditure on experiences is going to increase and increase. And the next thing is insurance. It was 600 rupees in 2020. I was a lame person. I did not have health insurance for myself, my family. I did not have anything called term insurance. So what started at 600 became 4,600 in 2021 when I got my health insurance. And in 2024, it is at 12,800. So term insurance is covered, health insurance for all the family members are covered. So no unfortunate event. You can't control unfortunate events in life, but you can control the finances that take care of these unfortunate events. So it's okay if your insurance expenditure increases every year, because at one point in time, when you cover the entire family and when you cover all the term insurance and everything, that cost is going to plateau because you're fixing the cost beforehand. So any amount of inflation is not going to have an impact on your insurance. So it will go like this at one point in time. After that, it becomes flat. So now comes to shopping. I've always been like not a brand person per se. So it started at 6,000 rupees and it continued to stay at that level. And in 2024, on an average month, I spent 4,000 on shopping, which includes the shoes I buy, the clothes I buy, and any other accessories that I buy. So 4,000 a month is, I consider, something which is bare minimum, right? There are people who spend much more on that. I'm not that kind of person. And now comes the last category, which is education. In 2020, I did not spend anything on education. And by education, I mean that any online courses that I spend money on or books that I buy. So from zero, it went to 400, 300, 481 in 2023 to 2,300 in 2024. So every month in 2024, I spent 2,300. And yes, I would like to see this number grow as high as possible because investing in education is probably the best thing that you can do. Of course, not exorbitant amount, but 2,300 per month is very simple. Even if it goes just 10,000 rupees per month, it's absolutely okay. So, yes, guys, we spoke about all the expenses. So, across food and groceries, travel, entertainment, education, and home expense, medical bills, etc. You see that I'm the kind of a person who fall in the 1 lakh to 1.2 lakhs. Now you can do this math for yourself and see whether you're in the 50,000 zone or in the 2 lakh zone. And when you and a great approach to personal finance is always that you look at your expenditure first. You can't say this is my income and I'm gonna based on the income I'm gonna spend so much. Because if you fix your expense, your income can be now you can start computing what is this guy's income could be. It could be 4x, it could be 5x, it could be 6x. I don't have a problem revealing my income, but I'll do it at a certain point in time. But for now, these are my expenses. I am the guy who spends like 70,000 to 1.2 lakhs based on the nature of the month at any given year. I'm going to keep this as a constant. And this is going to increase at probably 5%, 6% every year. And that's the maximum. Because, of course, inflation is bound to play its role. My food bills are going to increase. My travel bills are going to increase. As I told you, I'm going to invest in my experiences. So, yes, with this, I've discussed a lot of numbers. I put my life out there for you guys because it tells the kind of person that you are. That I am a stupid guy when it comes to car purchases, but I'm great when it comes to spending on clothes and shopping and everything because I don't see a point. And when you do this, trust me, it reveals more about you than what you think. And yes, with that, we come to the end of this 2024 wrap. And I hope this information that I've given to you guys was very useful. And at least, even if it pushes like a few of you to start tracking your numbers, if not all of them, at least the key expenditures and income, then probably you'll be in a better place in 2025 at the end of 2025. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching it. And at the end, I'm always going to say this. If you find it useful and if you've come this far, then there is a point in subscribing to my channel and I'll continue to deliver value as much as possible. So thank you guys. Wish you a great 2025 and this year is going to be awesome for you. And I wish all of you guys be better, wiser, better and healthier, both in personal life as well as in professional life. Thank you.